Welcome back to Dungeon Hacks, the only place where I share my secrets with all of the other dungeon masters out there. And bearing that in mind, I thought I'd take a moment to crack my vault and drop some knowledge that will help you set the scene and run a better game the next time your table gets together. And links to all of these are in the description below. Holding a place of honor at the top of this list is Tabletop Audio. Created and maintained by a dungeon master known only as Tim, Tabletop Audio is a repository of ambiance, music, and scene-setting sound ideal for those looking to get your table in the proper mood. Whether you need a grim battlefield, a dwarven tavern, or a space station floating in the depths of the ether, Tim has you covered. More than that, though, he gives these gorgeous creations away to anyone who wants to use them. That includes YouTube channels for any fellow hosts looking for resources. Tim does have a Patreon, though, so if you find yourself regularly using his lovely creations, consider putting a few coins in his cup. If you are like most dungeon masters, chances are good you've already invested in using cardboard cutout minis for at least some of your representational needs. Because even with the advances we've seen in 3D printing and plastic production, keeping an army of nightmare creatures ready to deploy at any moment is not a monetary commitment most of us can afford to make. But even if you're using cardboard pawns, that's no reason not to give your players something fearsome to look at. That's why you should take a look at Paperforge and what they have to offer. Run by a mysterious pair of artists with a love of tabletop gaming, Paperforge provides free printable tokens for a variety of characters, ranging from standard adventuring classes all the way to the most heinous of monsters. They're colorful, distinct, and can do a great deal to spice up the visual aspects of your game. Also, if you want access to bonus content, special offers, early art drops, and that sort of a thing, take a look at their Patreon page and the rewards they have listed for patrons. There are a lot of goodies for those who pay these particular pipers. There are some dungeon masters out there who absolutely love making maps. They will spend literal hours poring over the minutiae of a dungeon setup, adjusting every monster's location, guard post, hallway, and oubliette until it is exactly the way they want it. For the rest of us, though, map making is a colossal pain in the ass that we would rather really skip if it wasn't so damn necessary. For those in the latter camp, don't worry. You can get your hands on great maps without spending any money or hours of prep time by heading over to Bane's Maps. Bane's Maps is the brainchild of Daniel Walthall, a self-professed lover of tabletop games. And to look at the maps he makes, he clearly falls into the first group of dungeon masters I was describing. Fortunately for the rest of us, Daniel has put his lovely maps up for us to make use of. Whatever you need, Bane has it, within reason, of course. You need a small town, a multi-level dungeon, a temple, Bane has you covered. And like most of the others on this list, there is a Patreon account for those who want to persuade him to put out a little more content. Longtime tabletop aficionados may recognize the name Clinton Boomer. If you don't, grab some of your favorite game books and flip to the contributors page. He may not be on the cover, but his presence tends to be felt where it counts. And if you're looking for extra content for your game, particularly if you run Pathfinder, then you'll need to stop by his Tumblr page. You owe it to yourself. Mr. Boomer has a little something for everyone. Whether you want bizarre bloodlines for your city-bred sorcerers, wandering gunslingers with a heart of darkness beating in their breasts, or malformed horrors the likes of which no bestiary could truly contain, you can find all of that and more in his archive. It will take a bit of digging, he's been at this for some time, but it's worth the effort. And if you want a personal recommendation, I've always enjoyed the freak-punching muscle monster. Just trust me, it's a ball. And of course, like everyone else on this list, Mr. Boomer has a Patreon page. So if you want to help him keep doing what he's doing, just keep that in mind while you browse. Remember what I said about maps just a few minutes ago? Well, one reason so many dungeon masters hate them is that, at their core, maps are really all about drawing. And even if you like to draw, it gets frustrating when you can't get the scenery to look right, or when you have to do it with the rest of the table staring at you. No pressure. That's where ye olde map maker swings in to save you. This digital map maker can be used straight from your computer, or you can download the app for any Apple or Android product. It gives you a simple, easy-to-use interface where you can drop everything from doors and beds to boulders and loot. No messing with a marker, no fiddling with measurements, everything is clean and uniform. And if you're a fan of the golden age of Dungeons and Dragons, the simple black and white maps may even give you a tingle or two in your nostalgia gland. That's all for this installment of Dungeon Hacks. If you have a resource for Dungeon Masters that we didn't mention, feel free to leave it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this list, then like the video and share it with your fellow gamers. Lastly, like so many others on this list, we at Dungeon Keeper Radio can use all the support you can give. So subscribe to the page, buy us a coffee, or become a Patreon patron. There might even be something in it for you in the near future. Until next time.